All right, folks. Over the last couple of days, pressure is mounting for the FISA memo to be released, and Rep. Adam Schiff went on CNN to explain to the American people that they don't need to see the memo because they're too stupid. Well, let's listen to what he has to say and see what you think about it.
Let me ask you about the Russia investigation, because I can't have you here and not, especially given how much we talked about it in the first year of the presidency. And now, if you turn on any conservative media, they keep talking about this Nunes memo that
Isn't it sad that transparency is something only the conservative media is interested in talking about?
the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, that he's put out there, and many Republicans have taken a look at it, and they want it made public. Can you tell us about this memo? What exactly is it?
It is essentially a set of talking points that the Republican intel staff drafted.
Frankly, I don't care if they're talking points or not. I care if it's true. And if the Republicans happen to be using true things as talking points, I don't see why that matters.
Based on the highly classified materials, which most of the Republican members were forced to acknowledge they've not even read, so they don't know how distorted these talking points are.
Oh, but it's the Republicans who haven't seen the supporting information, while the Democrats haven't even seen the memo.
Even today, Democrats are protesting by refusing to even go to the Intelligence Committee room and avail themselves to the information that is in this memo.
But it's part of the narrative they want to push out, and interestingly enough, they've made common cause once again with Russian bots, because Russian bots are pushing their narrative out there. It's
Deflecting with Russian bots. I can tell you, I'm no Russian bot, and I want to see this memo. Every time something comes out that makes the Democrats look suspect, Russian bots did it. Seems to suggest to me it's a lot less Russian bots and seems a lot more like wrongdoing on your part. As well, a desperate attempt to deflect and cover up that corruption.
in a redux of the campaign. We have Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and Russian trolls and bots saying, you know, hashtag whatever the GOP narrative is. That ought to tell you a lot about what's driving this. And
Trolls, bots, WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. I don't care. What's it say? What is driving this seems to be outrage at the way the Democrats handled the election and are handling the evidence of their malfeasance. What seems to be driving this is a serious concern about the future of our country.
And I'm here to tell all of America tonight that I am shocked to read exactly what has taken place. I would think that it would never happen in a country that loves freedom and democracy like this country.
that is,
Why not
it's a
allow
political
people
narrative.
to look at it and let Americans make the decision for themselves about whether it's useful information or not?
Well, because the American people, unfortunately, don't have the underlying materials, and therefore they can't see how distorted and misleading this document is.
We do have some of the quote-unquote materials, and they are quite disturbing.
But think about what we knew a long time ago. The Clinton campaign paid for the dossier. Think about those text messages from Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, where they talk about, remember the text message where they said, walking through Walmart, I can smell the Trump supporters, the derision they have for people who supported, the anti-Trump bias, the pro-Clinton bias, and then think about the text message that talks about an insurance policy to make sure Donald Trump is not elected by the American people.
I hear you, but all of those
all that is
things
context.
are, you know.
Moreover, it seems if nothing's done, we're not going to have any of the underlying information because it recently came out that the FBI, in fact, failed to preserve 5 months' worth of text messages between these FBI agents. What else is disappearing?
The Republicans are not saying make the underlying materials available to the public. They just want to make the spin available to the public. And I think that spin, which is a fulsome attack on the FBI, is just designed to attack the FBI and Bob Mueller to circle the wagons for the White House.
Yes, the Right Honorable FBI. It's like they've never done anything wrong before. But what I've heard is it goes much deeper than the FBI.
But what I can say is that this memo names names. It actually connects the players, the entities that folks are very familiar with, names we've heard in the news and organizations we're well aware of.
Well, Adam Schiff, are your fellow congressmen too stupid to understand it as well?
But more than that, it's a disservice to the country.
Adam Schiff, Congressman, thank you very much for coming on, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This all stinks to high heaven, and more Russian bots are not going to protect you. The American people want transparency. They're going to want to see this memo. And I pray it gets released, because if it doesn't, this will just be another long line in the scandal surrounding this 2016 election. We need to see this, and we cannot let up. We must demand they release it. It's the only way the American people can get closure on this. Remember, we are the Republic's walls.